thing for numbers. I like to play with them. I've got a thing for numbers, and I like to play with them. It's called maths. Maths. It's called maths. Maths. It's called maths. It's called maths. I like numbers. I like the things I can do with them. I like numbers. I like the things I can do with them. I like numbers. I like numbers. I like the things I can do with them. I like numbers. I like numbers. I like the things I can do with them. It's called maths. It's called maths. It's called maths. 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 It's called maths. 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 Got a thing for numbers. I like to play with them. I've got a thing for numbers, and I like to play with them. It's called maths. Maths. It's called maths. 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 It's called maths. It's called maths. I like numbers. I like the things I can do with them. I like numbers. I like the things I can do with them. I like numbers. I like numbers. I like the things I can do with them. I like numbers. I like numbers. I like the things I can do with them. It's called maths. It's called maths. It's called maths. 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 It's called maths. 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 All the numbers. All the pretty little numbers. I like them. All the numbers. All the pretty little numbers. I like the numbers. It's called maths. Yes, maths. It's called maths. You know it's maths. Yeah. It's called maths. It's called maths. Called maths. It's called maths. It's called maths. G'day, you mob. Am I audible? Can I be heard? Above this rain, which has finally eased off, thank goodness. It was very, 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 very rainy a few minutes ago, so I had to don the headphones. But now it seems to have eased off. How is everyone? What is going on, peoples? Damn, unprepared. There will be no round of applause when Scungy comes onto the show.
Hi.
I was a bit slack on organising my grandiose sound effects. Let's do some hellos. James Hukulak back on the winning streak. A streak of one now, James. Well done. Bucket of kudos in the post to you. S. Seemingly satisfied that James is back to health. Maybe not satisfied. That might not be the right word for it. But hello there, gentle peoples. Patty, how's it going? MSG, how are you? BJ, how's it going? Who else have we got? Geek Boy, g'day mate. GRB, how's it going? And Chewy and Pipex. That rounds out the current people. Not very many because the ladies' nights, going nice. They're funny. They're funny girls. Pardon me. Patty says, lovely shirt, Scungy.
Oh, it's a dress. It goes all the way to the floor.
All the way. Very good. Very good.
It does.
How's your day been today?
It's okay. I'm still sick, and it's really doing a number on me. I'm just sick of it.
G'day, Brendan. Yes, well, it's been quite consistent and you've been quite ill, so I would imagine you'd be sick of being sick.
Yes, I am very sick of it. But yeah, I decided to get a little bit of a ginger beer to try and have a drink, and maybe that would be gingery, so it would not be angry in my tummy, but I don't know if I'll be able to do it. I'm only a few sips in and my eyes are already watering.
From how angry your stomach has become, or just from that drink?
No, it's okay. It just tastes like ginger beer. It's really mild too. Like, anyway, yeah, I'm not much fun. I'm very gross.
Very gross. We've got that on record now. Scungy says she's gross. Pardon me. Good to see Brendan in the house. Friend from New Zealand. We went to school together, sort of. If you can call TAFE going to school with each other. Yeah, it was good fun. And I believe neither of us went on to use the qualification that we studied and learned. Anyway, that's what you get. So has it been raining a hell of a lot up your way as well?
Yeah, it's pouring now. You can't really see because of the light, because I can see it when I turn around, but yeah, it's pouring. It's been very wet times.
Pardon me. Yeah, unlike, when was it? Was it raining last week as well? But it was nice and cool last week. Now it's like raining and muggy and quite gross.
It is muggy. I feel my house is just getting damper and damper. When I lived out in the rainforest, everything was damp all the time. Everything was moldy all the time. And when I moved in here, I was so excited because it wasn't all damp and the roof didn't leak or anything. But slowly, over the past few months even, it's just been getting damper and damper in the house. It's just seeping in somehow.
How interesting. I don't know where it would come in your house. Through the roof?
Well, maybe. I think it's just that all the air is so damp and has been so damp that just all that wet air in the house for so long and no like crisp dryingness. It's just everything's slowly absorbing moisture.
Yeah. Yes, it's hard to avoid without some drastic level of desiccants or dehumidifiers.
Yeah, if it wasn't so huge. It's just huge because I thought about trying to plug in something, but I need like heaps of them to span the area.
Even a few fans running might be better than nothing.
Might have to go fan shopping.
Oh, you can pick up cheapies for $12 or $15 depending on where you shop. G'day, new local Austin. Oh yeah, Brendan, that sounds quite lovely. 19 degrees on the South Island.
I'd go for that.
Yeah, be nice. Very nice. I don't think it's traditionally called the monsoon, but, it's lots of rain.
But usually this is our driest time of year in the springtime, from August through into December. And then in December when it starts getting hotter, then we start getting rain. But it's usually that whole springtime is really dry and it's been really wet instead.
Yes, our spring winds didn't seem to last very long this year.
We only got a couple.
Yeah, normally it's all over the shop, isn't it? The winds.
Yeah.
It's just picked up again here. Hopefully it's not
I
drowning
can
out
hear
the
that.
microphone. Yeah.
It's not drowning out your microphone. It's just creating a background noise.
Yeah. I suppose that's the peril of streaming underneath a tin roof.
Yeah, probably. Because it's raining here as well. I can't hear the rain here as loudly as I can hear your rain.
It's because my rain's right in your ear holes.
Oh yeah, and I've got a whole roof above my ceiling.
So did you watch any of the Wheel of Time yet?
No. I see, but I'm like partly tempted to wait until all the episodes are there, but yeah, I find it really hard to I know that there are 3 to start with, but then I just don't like waiting a whole week between episodes.
Yeah.
I forget what was going on by the next week. So then I've got to maybe rewatch each one. Do you know what I mean? The week before's and the current one.
One of the nice things that they do in the Wheel of Time is, they do a recap from last week's episode at the start. That's quite handy when shows are released a week apart because, I think we're evolving to have ridiculously short-term memories. Pardon me. All the cows are crammed into the corner trying to run away from the rain. Pardon me. I had to use a thing to stop my can being so see-through.
It's kind of fun it being see-through though.
Yeah, now I can't see how full or / empty my can is like I could last week by being able to see through it. Crikey. Now it's smashing down. What else is going on?
Not a lot. I'm very preoccupied by being ill. But I did send those pictures up yesterday. So I submitted some pieces for an exhibition in Brisbane, and I got a thing back saying that for all 4 that I submitted were selected to be included in the exhibition.
Very good.
So I framed them and I sent them off with a courier yesterday to go to Brisbane and sit on a wall up there for a while.
Did you have to take them to a courier, or did a courier come and collect them from your house?
No, I took them. Apparently they can come and collect them, but I imagine it would be more expensive than dropping them off. And besides, it was kind of lucky because I thought I'd packaged them up pretty well. But when I turned up at the thing, the lady asked me, she's like, will it bounce if someone drops the box? And I was like, I don't know if it will bounce or if the glass will break if it gets dropped. And so she said she'd have a look, and then she's like, "Oh, do you want me to have a look in there?" And I was like, "Oh, look, I'm just really worried about like it costing more money because they're like a company that sells all the packaging and stuff, and to get the service where they package it all for you is like twice as much as just posting it." So, and she was like, "Oh yeah," and she's like opening it up. We'll just have a look. And then she was like, "No, your bubble wrap is shit. Look at it, just pops, pop, pop." And she's popping it. And then she goes, "Look at our bubble wrap." And she pulls out the bubble wrap and she like folds it 3 times, you know, so it's 3 layers, puts it on the corner of her desk and starts punching it, and then goes, "Look, that didn't even hurt me. Our bubble wrap." So, and so anyway, she wrapped them up in a big ball of bubble wrap, and then they wouldn't fit back in my box. And then she's like, "Oh, well, we'll just get you a box as well," and found a box and packed it in a box for me and didn't charge me for the thing. So that was good. But so hopefully now they will bounce.
Well, if that's her qualifying factor, you'd think she'd know how to pack something so it bounces.
Yeah.
She sounds very good at her job anyway. Go the upsell. Yeah, but then again, she didn't charge you for the stuff, so
No.
What a good lady. Good lady indeed.
Yeah. I was very grateful.
Yeah, BJ, you won't see any of the rain in my background. It's not raining over there, wherever that is.
In that photograph.
In that photograph.
It'd be cool if you could get like a live background though. Like, you know, just one that at least, you know, even if it just went through a loop, but like the leaves blowing in the wind and stuff.
Yeah, I wonder if you can do that. Well, we might investigate that. Any green screen experts out there know if you can do live backgrounds? I think generally a green screen's got to be in a particular file format. But yeah, I'm going to look into that. It's a great idea. All right, this guy's going to come up as well and have a chat.
Oh, hey.
I've got extra white noise in the background. How you going, Dr. Ruben Stino?
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, did I probably should have rolled the R. Ruben Stino.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
What's happening tonight? What's going on?
Not a lot. Lots of rain. That's about the only
Lots
thing
of-
there's lots of.
Lots of rain. What happened?
Yeah, all that Washington floodwater has evaporated and moved to the southern hemisphere.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
It's got to
You
go
guys
somewhere.
having the wicked, crazy flooding like we did?
No, it hasn't been that consistent. We just get waves of really heavy rain and then just misty rain for a few hours, then another big bout of massive heavy rain.
The craziness.
Yeah, but the heavy stuff only seems to go for a few minutes at a time. As you can probably hear, it's eased off again. I don't know if it's audible once it's eased off that much.
I can't hear it. No,
I can hear it.
you can.
I can.
Yeah, she's got little speakers in her ears though.
Yeah, you got the eagle. You got the eagle ears.
Eagle ears.
Sure.
Yeah. So what's been happening this week? What's other than the rain, obviously?
Not a lot. Oh, actually, I have fish news. My big white Oscar finally died.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I
Seemed
woke
like he
up.
was gonna live forever.
It was starting to feel that way, even if he wasn't enjoying his life. It was like he was living forever just to spite my dreams for that tank.
Yeah.
But yeah, I came out. He was very, very unwell for a couple of days, and I sort of expected to come out and find him dead. When was that? Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning, I climbed out of bed, and that tank's the first tank that I walk past when I get up in the morning. And he was laying on his side on the ground with the gibbiceps sucking on his body, but he was still, he was still breathing and alive. So Gibbo was just taking advantage of a easily obtainable slime coat, I suppose. And then, not long after that, he'd stopped breathing.
Yeah.
And I was going to euthanize him once I'd seen his condition that morning anyway, but he finished himself off before I got a chance to euthanize.
That's a bummer. That's a bummer, dude.
Well, it's kind of a bummer, but it's, it's also an opportunity now to move forward with that tank because, the Oscar's very, very slow demise was making me very downhearted about that tank. And
yeah,
it's a nice tank with a lot of potential. If I can
Makes
go and
sense.
find myself some prawns and some nice plants, I'll make that aquarium great again.
Yep, you'll have to erect a wall while you're at it.
Well, funnily you should say that, because one of the tubular pieces of wood I have moved into an upright position, like a small section of wall, a tower, if you like.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, now that there's no no Oscar in there to renovate every day,
Yeah.
I can put bits of wood where I want them.
I forget who it was. Somebody was asking about an Oscar the other day. It was like, I got a 75-gallon tank. Is it okay to have an Oscar in it? And it was like, just that though. Just be aware. That's how it's just going to be that fish. It's like, if you're ready for that, then it's fine.
I think it's also one of the wisest pieces of advice to give to anyone inquiring about Oscars is that they are highly likely to live 20 plus years. It's a time investment if you really want to keep Oscars. Because if you keep it healthy and well, it's going to probably outlive your dog.
Right.
Or your cat. Probably not your cockatoo, because those things live forever. Or your tortoise.
Mm-hmm.
How long do rabbits live for? Probably outlive rabbits too. They don't go for too long. So yeah, that's pretty much the only super eventful thing that's happened here. Now I just have to dig a big hole and find some motivation to start prioritizing and making an appropriate order in which to work on the tanks.
Yeah.
But I think at this stage I may be taking 3 tanks down.
Okay.
Because pretty much all I'm running at the moment is Bristlenose and Gibbo, apart from the tank inside, which has the white clouds and ember tetras and some more Bristlenose and cherry shrimp in it. It's a shame. It is the inside tank is my favorite tank here at the moment, but it's it's in the main house, so I don't really get to look at it that much.
Oh, okay.
Pardon me. But yeah, all the other tanks at the moment are very unexciting. Oh, especially that one that I put cooked sweet potato in now, so its water is just a yellow murk.
Murky mess.
Might have been a little bit overcooked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that has a tendency to happen whenever I'm like throwing stuff in the veggies in the old tank, just dropping them. I'm always like creating a disaster more often than not,
Well, yeah, it kind of now I've got motivation to do that tank as well, but I've got to do the one directly behind me, which is the old Oscar tank. And then Maybe I will move on to the murky tank second once I've done it. Do you know? I haven't had a proper look yet, but I've got your Sun cheap canister filters.
Uh-huh.
They're just like a white one. The fitting where the hoses go in. Do you reckon that ball valve fitting would be the same size right across their size range?
No clue.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. To be honest with you, no clue. Possible, I don't know. Hard to
Yeah.
say. Hard to
'Cause
say.
it's,
I literally have like no experience with. Well,
cheap, dodgy
not
filters.
not no experience, but like it's been a billion years, and most of my experience it was just like using it for a day just to see, like, oh yeah, it works. I haven't like had to repair them or like modify them or do anything like that. So it's been a long time.
Yeah, I'll
It's been
have to
a really
check
long time.
because my biggest one is not on my biggest tank. So I'm hoping that I can just flip the tops, leave all my pipes in place, and swap out the big one from in there for this tank, and put this slightly smaller one on the smaller tank.
It's possible. It's possible that that company probably doesn't want to make different parts.
Yeah, that was
possible,
my theory.
It's possible, but you never really know. I guess until you try it out, huh? I guess
Absolutely. G'day, Ian. Yeah, because I'd much prefer to just be able to swap one in, one out.
Mm-hmm.
Once I've cleaned them. It's been a while for all of my canisters for a clean.
Yeah,
I do find it's better with canister filters to leave them longer.
Let them get gunked up and nasty.
Yeah. You don't want to be cleaning your canister filter any less than 9 months at a time. Is that a bit harsh?
Hey man, whatever's working for you, just run with it. If it's working, why change it?
Well, I mean, my fish did just die. I laugh, but maybe it was dodgy filter changing responsible.
I suppose that is possible.
I just think he went depressed once he realised that he was, he enjoyed having tank mates to bash up, but I think he missed them once he'd murdered the ones that he was left with.
Right.
And now only Gibbo's left in that tank, and it bloody looks like Gibbo's having a salt now. Won't even eat his sweet potato.
Well, yeah, I guess you never know. You never know what's going to happen, right? Yeah, I mean, I would say realistically, like if you have a, like if you have a system of cleaning schedule that is generally working well for you or whatever, then I would just go for it. Just stick with it.
That system cleaning schedule, these words don't make sense.
Well, I don't know. I mean, do you? I don't know. I mean, I guess don't do anything. I don't know. But I mean, we were talking about it with the. Okay, so we were talking about it with the folks at the co-op today, and we were talking about saltwater tanks, and one of the funny things with saltwater tanks is like there's really only two ways to run a reef tank, like a saltwater tank, and that's like set up your schedule for maintenance and then follow it like to a T all the time and never miss a water change or any of that stuff. Or just don't touch it. just don't ever do a water change ever. Those are really like the two ways to do it. Because anywhere in between there, you just end up with all these like disasters all the time.
Inconsistencies.
Because like we had one guy that brought in all of his corals and stuff. Like a perfect example would be like this guy brought in all of his corals and stuff just to donate to the store. And he'd never done a water change in 12 years on his reef tank.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You're just like, oh.
Just doing the salt.
Okay. You know. And yeah, I just had tons and tons of coral and stuff, so it was pretty funny.
It's funny how completely different stuff can work well for some people and be the bane of other people's existence.
Yeah, that's true.
And no one can put their finger on it yet. Why? I think most of it just comes down to fish's genetics and coral's genetics.
Oh.
Get good ones, they're going to last. Get shit ones, they're going to fall apart at the slightest changes. Yeah, that's all right, Ian. Thank you. He's been a long time coming, his death. He's been very ill for months and months now. And now I can progress on making that tank nice again. G'day, Joel G. I've been making the mistake of drinking these see-through cans. Now I need to wee already, and we're only half an hour in. You guys talk amongst yourself for a minute. Oh, actually, I might put my speakers back on too, because where is it? There. Shit, did that work? No?
Who knows?
No, there it is. I forgot noise-cancelling headphones sometimes actually cancel noise.
That's weird.
From the outside. And because it's hot and humid, they're bloody making my ears all sweaty and itchy. But I can hear at least. Hello, Vidra. I'll be back shortly.
So what's been happening? What's been happening?
I'm sick.
Are you sick?
I've just been sick for a long time, and yeah, I'm really unwell. Yeah.
What do you got? What do you got? The flu?
I'm okay.
Diarrhea?
No. Oh yeah, a little bit.
Oh man, bummer.
But yeah. Look, I have chronic fatigue, and I don't know whether it's part of that because I get lots of gut stuff with that anyway. But I've just basically had pain in my gut for like, I don't know, 3 weeks or something. And it's wearing me down by now. So I think I probably should go to the doctor.
Yeah, might as well get checked out. I mean, you know, because I was actually talking to a buddy of mine the other day that has that, and I think it was related to some like IBS stuff he had going on, and I think I forget what it was. I think it was dairy or something. Like he ended up cutting it out of his diet, and then it's like fine after that. So it might just be like something goofy like that, which I think is like way easier to deal with than any other kind of like you know.
Absolutely.
Affliction,
I did the low FODMAP diet for a while, and it seemed to help with my energy levels and all my other symptoms and stuff. But I'd noticed a big change, and then it sort of just waned, and then I didn't. And so then I stopped doing it and just ate normally, because with the low FODMAP, there's all sorts of things like, sure, there are some foods that you can't eat, but then there are things like all your veggies, you cannot have like certain amounts, or you've got to look if the levels of, because there are like 4 different kinds of sugars that are included in the FODMAPs. And so if you're eating like, say, you know, this veggie with that veggie and that thing, then that's too much. You're going to overdo it. So it's a lot of calculating to work it out.
Right.
So yeah, it's a bit tedious, but it might be time to do that again, and then just do a gradual introduction of things
Mm-hmm.
and see. All the fun stuff.
Indeed, it's just just out here having a never-ending. It's like a never-ending like circus ride out here, man. It's just exciting. It's just so much. It's a thrill.
Yeah.
Joel G's asking, have you tried high-dose probiotics or prebiotics?
Yeah, I have. I haven't had huge results from it, and I've had conflicting arguments from different doctors, because one of the doctors that I see, he just thinks that they're bullshit, that once you like taking them, and because it's so expensive, and he just doesn't think that they last or contribute to your bacterias the way that they're sort of everybody says that they are.
As advertised.
Yeah.
Key word, I believe.
Because I think I was talking to him about, the ones that I had, because there are all different strains as well that do different things.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just like, I was saying I was taking it, wasn't really making a difference, but maybe I was on the wrong one, and could he recommend? And he was just like, don't waste your money. So.
G'day, Terry. G'day, Colin. How's it going?
Uh-huh.
Actually,
but I still
we had Colin here before. Welcome, Colin, if it's your first time. Sorry, Scungy.
That's okay. I was going to say I do have like prebiotics though.
Mm-hmm.
Plus,
what's
there's
the difference
lots of
between
just
pre
foods.
and pro?
Well, prebiotics are like the fibers that are food for the probiotic which are the bacteria that live in your gut.
Gotcha.
So you've got to eat plenty of that stuff so that there's food for them to multiply. And I think that's of higher benefit than dosing up on them orally.
Mm-hmm.
Let them breed and grow themselves.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Some people who have really bad problems with bacteria, they do like poo transplants and stuff. Get someone else's poo and put it up your butt.
I just watched a South Park episode on that only about an hour ago. No, maybe an hour and a half ago. I realised I hadn't seen any of season 23 of South Park, and it was available on Prime, so I watched it.
Oh.
And the fecal episode was quite good.
I might have to do that. Then I don't think I've seen that either.
Yeah, I'm sure that. I mean, that was 2019, so I'm sure they're up to 24 and 25 by now, maybe even further.
Maybe.
But yeah, I don't know. I think they're probably available only to stream on Comedy Central subsidiaries for the newer ones. Tom Brady's biome is powerful. The spice. Oh, that's right. There was a whole Dune theme in that one.
Oh.
Which I found really odd because it was 2019. Maybe was Dune ready to come out back in 2019 before the corona?
But it's been out, like the original one.
It's not like it's an unknown thing that no one knows about and never heard of before.
The first Dune? You got to watch the first Dune. It's crazy. It's got Sting in it.
I just didn't get the relevance of Dune. Why it was normally they're very topical with their story crossovers and stuff. And I didn't understand why Dune was the thing with that episode.
The spice.
Yeah, the spice was Tom Brady's poo.
Right. Well,
yeah,
you
it's
know, in that
quite a good episode.
what was that? The teddy bear movie with
Ted.
Markles Marks Wahlbergs. They're trying to get his Tom Brady's wiener.
Yeah.
Have you seen that one?
I did. I saw Ted when it was first out a long time ago, but yeah, I don't remember much of it. It didn't.
I didn't watch it.
Didn't cement in my memory banks.
I didn't get in there. Didn't get into your brain parts.
Well, I can't remember the Tom Brady's dick bit. One would expect that if anything was going to commit to memory, it'd be a joke about a famous athlete's penis.
Wiener jokes.
They normally
Classic.
stick.
Classic wiener jokes, man.
Schoolyard gold.
Ween.
Pardon me. Don't need that in my face if it's not being used, do I? Don't need it doing that either. What else is going on in your world?
In my world, man, you know what? It's hard to say. It's hard to say what's going on out here. We're getting ready for Thanksgiving. It's coming up. It's coming up hot and fresh. You know,
When's that?
Thanksgiving Thursday. Yep. It's very exciting. Very wow. You know, people are talking about it. You know, it's like it's the thing. It's the thing that's on people's minds currently. You know, Thanksgiving. It's coming, and we're gonna eat a turkey. There's a big old turkey in the fridge, ready to be roasted. You know, we're gonna roast it up. We're gonna eat some turkey. Yeah, I mean it's intense. I know. It's like
we seem to hear a lot about Thanksgiving down here with, you know, American
That's
media
weird.
saturating the Australian market.
Right. Yeah, I guess that makes zero sense, but yeah, also makes sense at the same time.
I
Just
feel
gonna
like
hog
I
these.
don't
We're just gonna, like-
really hear
gonna, like,
anything
hog the
about
airwaves.
Thanksgiving.
What's that? Oh, you don't hear about it?
No. But I
Yeah,
don't
but
like... Yeah.
I listen to quite a few American podcasts and watch American YouTube and stuff. So, yeah, I'm probably much more likely to be bombarded with Thanksgiving stuff.
Yeah, it's coming up, man. Big holiday. It's a big day. People are excited.
Is it like just the main thing is just like a thing of getting together with your family or friends and family and having a meal? And like or do people do other sort of stuff?
I mean, to the same degree that, like, you know, Christmas isn't like about Santa, right? But like, you know,
More
like
about
there
the
are-
gathering of the kinfolk.
Yeah, but separate and apart
Yeah.
from, say, the origins of Christmas, there are lots of different sort of traditions and things that people do at Christmas alongside sharing a meal together is, like, you know, usually part of it. But, you know, there's a whole lot of different traditions. So that's why I'm sort of wondering if Thanksgiving, I guess that all I've heard of is like, yeah, eat turkey or be together and have a meal together. Are there other things that people do to celebrate Thanksgiving?
well, I mean, I guess, you know, Thanksgiving is sort of like uniquely, well, is it unique? I mean, just the terminology of Thanksgiving is like Canada and America, I think, are the only two, right? But Canada's was like a month ago or something, or a month and a half ago. And it's like a harvest celebration. More than anything, it's a harvest celebration. I mean, there's a big long story behind Thanksgiving. I just don't have the heart to get into it right now because most of it is shrouded in, like, you know, Native American
Sinister
tragedy,
stuff.
the tragedy that happened to the Native Americans. But Yeah, it's basically a harvest celebration. End of the year harvest.
But so
Back in
do
the
you? Do you do things like you go out and do gardeny stuff, or go and check out what everyone's been growing in their garden? Like that's what I mean. Like things that you actually do. What are the traditional things to do, or that people realistically actually do, or do they really just eat together?
They are.
they
They
eat together because people don't kill the turkeys anymore. I mean, some people do. I mean, if we had one, I would butcher a turkey, but um, this is that time of year where you this is the time of year where you cut down your herd, you cut down your flock, you do all your harvesting, and you're rich in meat and vegetables, and you might as well have a party because you'll probably be starving by the time springtime comes around again. You know. But this is the time of year where you'd be cutting down everything from the farm, all the animals and stuff that you don't want to feed them over the winter. And you got to think, 250 years ago, you didn't really, you didn't have a fridge. You didn't have a fridge, so a lot of that stuff had to get eaten. So you might as well share with a big feast. Nowadays, people just buy stuff and cook a ton of food and watch
I don't
football
want you in my face.
and have the family over. But it's a good excuse to have family over and have dinner,
Mm.
and hang out all day, have a day off, whatever.
generally that is the best outcome of most of these holiday things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it's the whole thing. It's like Christmas isn't really about Jesus. It's not really about Santa. It's not, I mean, it is for some people, but like more often than not, it's just an excuse to like, hey, the family's all getting together and we're going to give each other presents and then we're going to eat a bunch of food and, hang out all day kind of thing. So,
If they're not saying, "Oh, we just did this a month ago."
well, it's cold and dark here. So, you know, if they were in August or something, I don't know. I don't know if people would be that excited for it, but it's cold and it's dark. Like this morning, it was frozen out.
Mm.
We had our first frost, so it was like all icy and stuff. And there was
Crunchy lawn.
on my way up north, there was a semi that was jackknifed on the freeway, big traffic jam, and got past that traffic jam, and then on the southbound lanes going the other direction, there was a semi also jackknifed.
Lucky
Yeah.
times.
So it was very odd. That's not normal. I don't normally see that kind of behavior going on from the semis, the professional drivers, that is. But yeah, like
Particular
I-5
icy section of road, maybe.
by that point in time, it was raining. So I don't know what the hell they were doing this morning, but man, I don't know if the truck drivers are all asleep or something. I don't know what was going on.
G'day, Danny, Skipper, Mickham, Zip Gun. How's it going?
Yeah, so I don't know what was happening with the freeway this morning. It was chaos. All I wanted to do was just like drive, but the people they were stopping, they were like, "Hey, look at this! There's a big giant truck not going anywhere in the middle of the road."
That's the worst thing about road accidents is the bloody lollygaggers, the eyeballers.
Well, the problem is that yes, I 100% agree, but also like suddenly like 2 lanes are missing on the freeway that are normally there, and like no one will let anybody merge over. Not at like 4:45 in the morning or whatever. They're like, oh no, hell no, I'm not letting you over. It's too early in the morning. So then those guys got to slam on their brakes, and then they're trying to cut over and cut people out. Then it's you can't for whatever reason. I don't know what it's like in Australia. I've never driven there.
We have laws about merging.
we have laws here too.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? There's 10,000 people doing not the law. Like,
Yeah. They're now starting in really heavy traffic zones where merging becomes ridiculous. They're starting to put up signs that say "merge," just like a zipper, and then they have a picture.
You got
of
a
a
zipper merge, baby. But the Americans don't get it. They don't care. They just like scream freedom out the window and shooting bullets out the window, shooting their gun off, screaming about amendments and Bill of Rights and refusing to merge properly. It's just, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird vibes, bro. We got a lot of weird vibes out here, dude. You know what I'm saying? Got a lot of weird vibes.
Well, I think it's fairly consistent worldwide that a lot of people turn into the biggest dick form of themselves when they're behind the wheel of a motor vehicle.
It's true. They get extraordinarily courageous. It's like, wow, look at you. Look at you there, Buster. Wow. You're doing good. Look at you. Yeah.
But
I don't know. I've driven a bunch in Europe, and I'll tell you this much. It's like night and day out there. So like if you come up behind somebody, like if you're going faster than them, like they turn on their blinker and like move over and just let you go by.
That's what you should do.
Yeah, people come up to a stop sign and they like stop their car, and then they look both ways and utilize their turn signal in which to indicate which direction they're going to go in. And you're like, oh wow, look at that. Look at that. Look at that guy. He's doing the stuff. Look at him go. Wow. Now here somebody's like eating a sandwich, texting on their phone, shooting their gun, just swerving in and out of lanes, brake checking people. Like it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare.
G'day, Jimmy P. How's it going, Jimmy? Apparently, Jimmy P's vibes are just fine.
Good.
I don't quite get the
Good
reference.
Okay.
But,
So we have to talk about it, okay? We have to talk about something very important. Not weather related, not holiday related, not traffic related. But what the hell was up with November 19th? I don't know what was going on with November 19th, because the Wheel of Time series came out. The new Ghostbusters movie came out. The Cowboy Bebop came out. The last 3 episodes for Arcane came out. I don't know what was going on, man. There was a lot of good nerd stuff happening. Last Friday was like, oh, here you go, nerds. It's your day. I mean, if they dropped a new Star Wars, I think somebody would have had a stroke. I mean, I think somebody would have stroked out just from the excitement of it all, I have no idea how the Ghostbusters is. I have not seen that yet. Although I'm very excited. That is childhood for me right there. It looks good, and I heard people said it was good.
Yeah, I kind of expected that you would have seen it by now, how eager your anticipation has been.
There was so much stuff came out. I can't see it all, man. I don't
Not
even know
with
what's
that
happening.
attitude.
I was caught up on Arcane because I've been watching that after the girls go to bed. Because that is a total nerd show. That's epic nerd stuff, and
What's
too violent
Familiar with that one.
It's too violent for my daughter. There's no way she could watch that, and it's way too nerdy for Vicky to watch. She's just like, "What is this? This is a cartoon. This is cartoon." She wants to watch
Aubrey.
those murder. She wants to watch those murder shows. You know what I'm talking about? Where they're like, in 1997, Bellevue, Washington, Caroline Espelar was on her way to work, and she saw a broken down car on the side of the road, and that was the last time anyone saw Caroline. And you're like, good Lord, what happened to Caroline? And then it's like, her dismembered body parts were found in the woods 3 months later. And I'm just like, hey,
they've got
man,
them down
stop
to
watching
a
the
fine
show. Stop watching this show. It's freaking me out. Half the time these murders are in Washington State where we live. Like, come on now. Like, stop watching these shows. It's bugging me out, dude.
Don't
Well,
know
like,
if
two of-
hang on, Aubrey and Alley Cat. I did say hi before, but I was trying to talk over Corvus. Stephen P. and Alyssa Bentley. Hello to you guys.
Yeah. Well, and like, so two of the most prolific serial killers are like, I could like throw a rock out the window and they're like, their houses are down the street, basically. Ted Bundy. I don't know if you ever heard of Ted Bundy, that maniac. His
Yes.
childhood home is like, I don't know, 3 or 4 miles from here. It's not far. And then the Green River Killer. Go look up Gary Ridgway someday, and that will freak you out. Because that guy was getting away with murdering people for like 30 years or something. And they don't even know how many people he killed. They have no idea. They're just like, yeah, it's a lot. And you're like, how many is a lot? And they're like, it's over 100. We think maybe it's probably
we know
way
of.
more than that. And they're like, what? It's like, well, he confessed to like 40 something of them, and then we just got tired and like just said stop, just stop interviewing him. He killed everybody. All right, it's just that's what's up now. Yeah, so it's just like what? Okay, great. But yeah, Vicky likes to watch those shows, and they just stress me out, dude. I'm like, what? This stresses me out. I gotta go away. Like the soundtrack, and then it's like, the guy who lives right across the street from you right now is plotting to take your feet off of your body. And you're like, what? I can't watch this. That guy creeps me out across the street. You know, it's like, what the hell? How do women like this? It's like, no wonder you're so paranoid, weirdos. But anyhow, so the Arcane series is really good, even though it's about League of Legends. And I really have no idea what League of Legends is really about. I know it's a video game. That's all I really know. And you run around.
Is that the one where you make your own superhero?
I think that's pretty much what it is. You like run around and, you know, whatever. But apparently this is just the backstory of like some of the characters in the video game. And it was really well done. Like I didn't know anything about it. And you didn't have to know anything about it. But it was just very entertaining and well done. And the artwork in it is actually quite unique.
And where does it broadcast?
Netflix. Yeah, so you should be able to check that out. The Wheel of Time.
Write that down.
Arcane. League of Legends. It's about two girls growing up. It's interesting. I don't want to spoil it for anybody. Just watch a couple episodes, and if you're not entertained by that point, I don't know, keep watching the rest of them. But the Wheel of Time came out. Of course, I had to watch those Friday night, which meant I stayed up way too late. I was tired Saturday. But I want to hold back my criticisms of this, but I really feel like they screwed up some of the characters, like hardcore.
Yeah, I kind of think that it might be a blessing that I never read any of the books based on some of the things that I've heard. So I don't get that.
It's weird because like one of the characters that I think that they really screwed up, which is Matt Cawthon, they already recast him for season 2. They have a different actor playing him in season 2, so I'm not sure if they like sort of intentionally screwed him up and then he's supposed to like sort of like progress as a character or something, because the guy doesn't look that different, I don't think. But it's very weird. It's very weird. Like Matt Cawthon is like his in the show, like his parents, like his dad's a degenerate and like his mom's a mess and there's like abusive and he's like stealing and stuff. Like in the books, he's just mischievous. Like he's just a prankster and a screwball. Like he's just like the class clown in this. And then in the TV show, he's like
it seems like a hardened criminal. Like it's very weird. And then like Perrin's character is like married. He's not even married. He's not even remotely married in the books.
Was
and
that
then,
just
like,
so
Ra-
that, just
like-
so they could squeeze Daisy Ridley in for a few minutes?
It's not Daisy Ridley. It's
No, I thought
What's that?
Perrin's wife. I thought Perrin's wife was Daisy Ridley.
I don't believe so.
Hmm.
Hold
She
on.
looked and sounded very Ray to me. But yeah, I was annoyed because they all had such fancy sounding names, and then there's a dude called Matt.
Well, it's Matrim.
Righto.
It's short for Matrim.
Hmm.
But it's very like I don't know. It's very weird. Like Perrin in the book, like in the books, he doesn't even have a girlfriend or anyone he's interested in. It's very weird. It's very weird what they've done with the characters. And then like Rand and Egwene, they're having sex like right out at the beginning of the show. I'm like, what? Like in the books, they're distinctly like a sheltered. They're sort of a sheltered, sort of like. It's not like deeply religious, but they're like super conservative, like farmer town. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you're not going out of line and doing all these like wacky adult stuff just because you're like 20. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
that's the vibe of the town. Like, you better pay attention to these elders. You know, the elders are telling you what to do, and they'll just whip you if you're being bad. You know what I mean? It's that kind of weird sort of like maybe Catholic, like traditional Catholicism or like puritanical type people. You know, they'd burn a witch kind of stuff.
G'day, J-Rock, Kenny.
And so like
How's
it's a very big stray from the books, because the books are like very in-depth descriptive of like what these characters are thinking, like what their motivations are, like what they're all about. And so the first episode I was like straight up thrown for a loop, because I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Like, this isn't even what, like, you're screwing this up. Like, that's what was my vibe from the beginning. But I'm just gonna keep giving it a chance and just see where it goes here, because obviously you have to adapt it to the screen, and it's going to be different. So I just sort of have to kind of accept that. But
well, I
you know,
guess they have to adapt stuff.
Well,
to
there's
make
like
it more appealing to a broader audience, I suppose.
That's true, but there's also
Put
like
a bit of rumpty in there.
But yeah, but it's just unnecessary. Like, it's unnecessary to have those characters be so vastly different, in my opinion. And there's certain stuff that's going on where like the introduction of other main characters has been like bastardized like really badly. Because like Perrin's character, I don't know if people haven't read the book. Spoiler alert: they came out 30 years ago. Go ahead and go like read them. But like Perrin's character can basically talk to wolves through his mind, right? And like, he gets introduced to like what that is by a guy named Elias Machira, and so far, like out of the first 3 shows that have come out, they're beyond him being introduced to the wolves, but we haven't met Elias, who's the guy who like, you know, who's the guy who he meets, and they save, and Elias like saves him and Egwene, and then they meet the Tinkers, who are basically like vegan gypsies, right? But in the shows, they've already met the Tinkers, and like Elias, they didn't even meet Elias at all to explain any of the weird wolves that are following them around and stuff. So it's very weird. Like, and to me, I'm like, why do that differently? Like, what's the motivation behind that? But yeah, Jimmy P says, can you imagine Joel being a food critic? Yeah, somebody needs to pay me though. Scunge, what's up?
I just think that they always wreck good stuff when they put it on screen, and the longer and more writing that there is to it, the more likely they are to fuck it up.
Rabble rouse it.
And so I'm really disappointed to hear what you're saying, because it's all the things when I'm watching a movie version of something that I've read. I haven't watched them yet because I was trying to save them up.
Have you watched the Dune yet?
No.
So Dune, so Vicky said the exact same thing that you said just now, which is like, whenever there's a book, they like fuck it up when they bring it to the movie screen, right? And I was like, we just went and saw Dune, which literally followed exactly how the book goes, right? Like they didn't fuck it up at all. Like they're literally like the gripes that I had with Dune were like, maybe he should have fought him longer. I don't know. Maybe it should have vibed like a longer knife fight. You know, like that was my concern, was like, maybe people didn't realize how important the knife fight was. You know, I'm like, but it's seriously, it like, it follows the pace of the book. It doesn't leave out any, you know, it doesn't leave out any key points. The character development makes sense. The pacing is a little bit quicker, but and it also shows you instead of tells you the internal dialogue, right? Whereas I feel like with the Wheel of Time, it's like they've like I said with Matt Cawthon, it's like in the books he is distinctly like class clown, joking around, jovial goofball dude, right? But straight out the gate, he's like grumpy and seething and angry, and he's mad at his dad, and he's like super protective of his like two little sisters that like are being I guess they're being like abused by their drunken mother. Like none of that stuff is in the Wheel of Time. Like all of this is just strictly like, what the fuck, what is this? This isn't even this character. Like what, you know? And like if you've read the books, like Matt Cawthon is super jovial, and then he gets the ruby hilted dagger, which fucking taints him with the taint from the Shadow City, right? Like whatever the Shadow City is called, I forget the name of it now, and that's what makes him like turn into a grumpy, thieving, conniving jackass, and then they have to heal him of that later on. And it's like, but it's a pivotal turning point in the development of a character going from being the class clown, goofing off, everything is a goof off, until he has this like incredibly close brush with death, right? And that's what kind of like whips him into realizing like, oh crap, like this actually is like a real deal, you know, to deal with. But the show just for whatever reason, straight out the gate, you're like, oh, who's this evil guy? Oh, that evil guy is Matt, who is not at all evil, but apparently in the show, suddenly now he's just stealing from people like right out the gate. I don't know.
That's all very disappointing to hear.
But I mean, the show is beautiful, and I'd like to see where it goes.
Oh man, some of that scenery.
The scenery is great. The costume design is great. The writing isn't bad. Like most of it is fairly, like most of the dialogue makes sense. The actors do a pretty good job. I think
like, it was
from my understanding, like they wanted to sort of spice it up and make the characters seem more adult, which I don't know, man. Like I mean, I personally at this point I don't see the value in it, but like I don't know.
It's probably a sign of the times that all teenagers think they're 29 nowadays.
Right.
They need like, mature characters to aspire to instead of other teenagers.
Right, like they're supposed to be more mature or whatever, and it's just very, very weird. Very, very weird. But I will tell you guys, if you like Cowboy Bebop, the anime, have you watched any of the new live action ones?
No, I haven't. I never saw the Cowboy Bebop anime as well.
They are fucking fantastic.
I think I put it.
Unfucking believable.
I put the
Unbelievable.
first episode on the other day to start, but then I got called away and didn't go back
do
to
this
it.
do this for me. Well, I guess since you already watched the first episode, it's probably
No,
pretty
I
fresh in your
didn't.
mind.
I only got like 2 minutes into it, and then I had to go away.
Oh, so watch the first episode anime version, right? Then watch the first episode of the live action version. Then stop watching the anime one and just watch the live action ones. Because the first episode is like, I don't know how they did it, but it is like, it's so close. Like they did, and I just thought, oh wow, they're just gonna remake all of the episodes. I guess they're just gonna remake all the episodes into live versions, and that's how it's gonna be. Like, and here's the crazy thing: nope, just the first one,
Right.
just the first one, and then the characters are good. The characters are the same, but like I couldn't have done a better job. I personally couldn't have done a better job making the live action of Cowboy Bebop, and it's better than I had hoped. Realistically, like the character development is different. The introduction of each character is different, but the characters are the same, and you're getting a different backstory, and it's just fantastic. It's really good. The music kicks ass. The special effects are, I don't know who did the special effects, but they're really good. The ship designs are fucking rad. Like, it's really good. It's really, really good.
Yeah, I really struggle with anime for exactly the same reason as Danny said earlier about the emotions being portrayed in strange ways.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you get that really exaggerated, full-on stuff, it just makes it really hard to watch for me.
Yeah,
but
I can respect that.
Is the Cowboy Bebop anime like that? The old, screaming, big wide eyes, crazy emotions and nonsense.
Well, I mean, the anime is some of that, and then but the live action does a really good job of playing off of the playing off of that. The live action does a really good job of playing off of that. That it's like that, like most, like, these reactions are a little bit different and stuff, and the way that it's made is just it's unique. That you go like, this is playing in, but okay, actually, hold on. So you remember how bad Batman with George Clooney was, where they made everything all day glow? You remember that one where everything was like fluorescent and shit, and they were trying to make it look like the comic books? Do you remember that?
No, of what?
It's like,
was that the shitty one with like was it Jim Carrey in it? No,
I think it was. I think George Clooney is Batman, right? Wasn't it? George Clooney as Batman.
The Riddler.
Whereas like everything was like day glow and super cartoony, but in real life, I think it was Jim Carrey one. Yeah, it was like, it was Batman and Robin, and like everything was all like fluorescent and crazy and like ridiculous, and it's because they were trying to make it look like the comic books, but they just did a terrible job of it. Because like, look up Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy or Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr.
Freeze.
It's just so bad. It's just so bad. It's so bad. It's so unbelievably bad. But like, when they wanted to do that back then, they needed to time travel to the future and meet the people that made Cowboy Bebop now and figure out how they did that, and then go back in time and then make the Batman and Robin so that it would have been correct. Because somehow the people that made Cowboy Bebop like figured out how to do it. So okay, so for instance, like the fight scenes, you know how the fight scenes are like totally crazy in anime, and it's like people's legs are kicking around and watch out, and you're just like, what the fuck? How did you just kill all those guys, right? And but they somehow managed to encapsulate the anime fight style, but make it join up with real mechanics, and it's very unique and weird, and it's very good. I don't know. It's
Maybe
it's hard to
the
explain.
maybe the Cowboy Bebop people watched Batman and Robin and worked out what not to do.
That's right. Well, yeah. I mean that story's 25 years old now or something like that. But they should have. I guess hopefully they had a takeaway from that, and they were like, "Oh, don't do that. Yeah, don't give Batman nipples. Don't give Batman the nipples on the costume."
Did they? I don't remember that.
That's the famous Batman nipple costume with the Clooney.
Maybe it was by special request of George.
And it always begged the question, like, what kind of superhero would have made the outfit with the nipples on it? Like, why would they have thought, I better make some nipples out of this rubber latex superhero suit I'm making.
Maybe they were functional. Maybe they were functional, and we just never saw their use in action.
That would have been brilliant. Just a creamer for the coffee or something.
Oh, maybe taser barbs shot out of his tits so he could.
Or
freeze people
lasers.
up. Lasers, yeah, that'd be a bit excessive. Let's not go too overboard.
Yeah, I guess it's true. You got to figure out you got to carry a battery pack. All that jazz. They didn't have the battery technology that we do now.
Oh, tell you one thing, beer does makes you wee a lot, doesn't it?
Does it?
Tease me.
Does that happen to you?
Yes.
One of these days, he's just going to pee his pants.
I was actually looking around before for something close at hand that I could just casually hold under the table. But then I thought, that first few seconds is probably going to be quite noisy.
That would have been weird.
You got to wait for the rain to come. Then you can just mask it in the rainfall.
It's raining a lot. Wow, the rain's really coming down. Like, yep, yep.
Sounds like one constant stream of rain.
Yep.
Speaking of which, though, it has died off, so I'm going to flick back to my speakers so I can take these headphones off again and casually stroll away for a moment.
That's right. It's Aquardics wearing the headphones.
It is in this humidity. Now I've got this itchy circle line around my ears, in my hair. G'day, Nola's
sweaty.
Dolls and Aquatics.
Well, there
Back
you
in a
go.
tick.
Is that a kitten in a box? I think it's a kitten in a box.
Where's a kitten in a box?
In the chat. Looks like a kitten in a box.
I can't
gotta
see
find-
a kitten in a box.
Yeah, here it is. It's called Chill with Cat. Yeah. Oh wait, no, it's slightly different. This one's called Shelterin'.
Okay. Those are just coming up as the words for me.
Really? Man,
Yeah.
those emojis. You know what I'm talking about? Emoji. It's 26 degrees Fahrenheit right now in New York. Alley Cat, it was 34 this morning. It hit 32 It was frosty out there. Today was the first frost out here on the left coast. It gets cold in New York too. Typically it gets colder in New York than it does here. 'Cause they'll get those blizzard blasts, and then all the New Yorkers freak out. And I feel bad for them because they live in New York first and foremost. That's a problem. And then it's also freezing and snowy. Double bummer. Because if you lived out here and it was extra snowy, we'd go sledding. We'd go build a snowman. We could sing songs from Frozen. Could be like, do you want to build a snowman? You know?
Yeah. I want to move to somewhere cold.
Yeah, you've never lived anywhere cold, have you?
No, I've not.
Well, that's one of those things that, like, people ask me if I want to move away from Washington, and it's like, I mean, if I moved away from Washington, I would probably just be in one of the states that's fairly near here, you know, like Idaho or Wyoming or Montana or Oregon or something, because we sort of have like all of the weather around here, you know. Like, it does get hot in the summer. We have spring, we have fall, and we do have winter. Which is one of the weird things, like having gone to Peru. It never really crossed my mind, just as a person that was wandering around, that they don't have seasons there. It's just always 95 degrees every day. Whatever the hell that is in Celsius. It's just hot and muggy. And everybody's got swampy, muggy,
Pits.
sweaty butt and pits.
Oh, g'day,
Everybody's just being hot and muggy.
Yeah.
What was the kitten in the box comment about?
I don't know. Alley Cat says water sports yay, snow sports hell no. But I say, hey, water sports yay and snow sports yay. They're both yay for me. I'll probably go snowboarding this year, I think. Maybe. I'm always worried about like blowing out a knee or something in my old age and missing work, you know.
Yeah. I worry about blowing out a knee playing a game of pool these days.
What's that?
But I am considerably older than you.
Yeah, that's true. But you've seen, so Blacky, you've seen snow, but Scungy hasn't, or is it the other way around?
I've not seen snow.
Oh, you haven't seen snow, but Scunge has seen snow. Who's seen
Neither
snow?
of us.
It must have been Josh then.
You've seen snow.
Josh would have, because he comes from a much colder part of the country originally
Right.
than up here.
That must have been it.
So yeah,
I was like, I swear.
I imagine he would have, most definitely.
The only closest thing I would have said similar to seeing snow is that recently there was apparently snow just very in the mountain near here that I would not expect there to have been. But
Where
that
was
was the reports from the locals. I don't know. I did talk about it on the stream whenever I'd heard it the couple of days prior. And they said there was snow on Wollumben.
On Wollumben. Wow. Didn't think it would have been high enough.
I wouldn't have thought it was possible. But certainly...
Global warming, climate change, we're going to get snow everywhere.
All sorts of crazy weather phenomenons can happen these days.
Who was in that? Was that Dennis Quaid and the other guy?
In what? Inner
And
space?
Jake Gyllenhaal or something? I think we're in the
inner space.
the day after tomorrow. I think where there's like the snow's coming down from the snow tornado vortex thing or whatever the hell it was.
I have not watched it. but I've seen Inner Space. That was Dennis Quaid, wasn't it?
I think that was too.
I don't know because I don't really know much actors. But I did
But
see in a Space a couple of times. I quite liked it when I was a kid.
Yeah, I thought it was a good movie as a kid. I can't
The
say that I've
concept
seen it as an adult.
Yeah, me neither. But I'd forgotten about its existence until you said so.
Bless.
That was a nice little. Oh.
Righto, what are you doing? Righto.
But yeah, I haven't seen the Ghostbusters yet. I want to see that.
Yeah, I thought you would have been straight to the cinema, but you know, you've got to prioritise your cinema viewing.
Well, I just wasn't going anywhere. We went and saw that. We went and saw that Eternals movie, and that's like, you know, it'll
That
probably
ruins,
be a couple
ruins
months.
cinema for you forever.
It's gonna be a lot. Yeah, I'm sworn off the cinema. I'm sworn off going to the movies. Yeah, it just ruined everything. It ruined my life. I think I had a good run, you guys. I just want you to know I had a good run, but then the Eternals came along and just ruined my life. Just ruined the whole thing. That movie sucks so bad.
Alyssa
But
Bentley asking if the southernmost points of Australia cold at all. They do get quite cold, but probably not as bad as Corvus's Washington.
Alaska.
Like, I don't even think Hobart, which is the capital city of Tasmania, the most southernmost city of Australia.
Mhm.
I don't even know if it snows in Hobart, but it certainly does in the mountains around Hobart because they've got the altitude.
Altitude.
Yeah. It gets cold, but it certainly doesn't get Washington cold or, you know, your other cold states. Canada, that's a cold state of the US, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's quite easy for us to say that we really love the cold and that we'd like to move somewhere colder. But then, yeah, if we went too far, we'd probably, you know, want to come back to the warm pretty quick.
Realistically, I've wanted to live in Tasmania for a while. I reckon that's about the right level of coldness. I love it when it's winter. I love having fires. I love doing outdoorsy work when it's not hot because you still, you know, you can do so much more without getting like heat stroked.
Well, yeah, that's why the spring. That's why the spring is so much more fun. Such a great time for planting because it's all nice out, but it's not super sweaty. You know, heat stroke moves, getting all burned up, crispy in the sun.
Still, this spring's been okay here, but most of the time, as soon as spring hits, we're feeling horrible already.
Oh, you just get swamped already?
I think we
that's a
had,
bummer.
apart from all of this rain, I think we had 2 days of spring before summer hit. Then it backed off a little bit.
Oh man, that's brutal.
Yeah, it feels like there's just like a few weeks in the year where it's like all, you know, in my mind I'm thinking rainbows and butterflies, but I mean just cool and nice temperatures where you feel really comfortable, and the rest it just feels horrible. And yeah, and then as soon as spring comes too, it's like as soon as it just starts to warm up, then you're getting eaten by every bug. All the biting flies and midges and stuff all come out. And yeah.
It's going to be a wild time. It's basically what you're saying.
And bindi eyes. Don't forget bindi eyes.
Yeah. Spring can be pretty mean.
Did you just say bindi eyes?
Bindi eyes. You don't have
Bindi
bindi eyes
eyes?
over there?
I don't know what that is. What is that word?
It's what
They're a
it's
little
what
prickle
Steve,
in the grass, and then they get
Steve,
stuck in your feet.
Steve
Oh.
Irwin named his daughter after them. Bindies, they're called for short.
Well, that guy died. So, yeah,
Cold.
well, we do, but what the hell we call those?
Probably just burrs.
Yeah,
I know
burrs or thistles and stuff. Yeah.
there's a big
We do it
version.
like Eastern Washington, like not so
They-
much in Western Washington, but Eastern Washington has that weird little spiny ball things in the grass and get them all over you.
They only get stuck in the bottom of your foot. They're like completely low on the ground.
Mm.
Yeah, so you never get them like stuck on your bottom of your pants or anything like that.
Oh, you don't?
And they're kind of
That
like
feels like an upgrade from the Eastern Washington variety that gets like halfway up your pant legs. They're all like caught up in your pants. You try to get them out, and then they poke your fingers. Oh god!
because like we've got some of those too.
Yeah.
Especially I have a dog with long hair, and then she just gets them.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
dogs were a disaster.
Yeah, it's
Luckily the dogs. Well, we only have one dog now, but the dog we have now, she has short hair, so she does pretty good with it. Plus, she's a little roly-poly, little fat roly-poly sausage dog, so she moves pretty quick along the underbrush. Doesn't get too many burrs and thistles caught in her.
mine just goes and frolics in the burrs. Oh, it's time. I'm sorry, I have to go and take my son to work.
Oh Lord, work.
Mm.
Oh, it's a work day. Get
It's
to
a
work,
work
you
day.
kids. Get to
No
work, you children.
No school on Wednesdays, and he
Oh,
had
that's right.
to.
You have that weird thing where you have like no school day in the middle of the week.
That's right.
That's wild.
And yeah, he was meant to go earlier, but it was raining. But now it's eased off, so time to go. So thank you for
Lovely.
having me. I'll
for
see
hanging
when I
out.
come back, but might be home from school time by then.
Damn.
Ah,
Oh,
have fun.
I'm about to go home from school. Sounds great.
See you later.
Bye.
Thanks.
I'm gonna have a Thursday off. I'm gonna have a Thursday off and eat a turkey leg like a Conan the Barbarian.
It's the best bit, really, isn't it?
Pretty much. I like the dark meat a lot better than the light meat turkey.
Same. And
Same with chicken though too.
Yeah, breast meat can take a hike.
'Tis where the flavor is.
Yes. Yeah, I think you got to do too much work to chicken breast to make it flavoursome and tender and nice. But yeah,
Man, I gotta tell you, Blacky, I've been looking at this property, but this property is too expensive. I gotta say.
we're at
Where at?
more down here.
No, in Washington. But it's over the limit. You got to go into jumbo. You got to go into jumbo financing with the
Yeesh.
bank, and that's just a whole. My
A whole
financial
danger
advisor
model.
said, like, that's just such a big pain in the ass. Like, don't get into that. So I was like, okay, this one's too expensive. That's all I'm saying. But they did pick the nice quartz. It's got quartz countertops, which I like.
Oh, quartz. Right.
I like the quartz, man. Some people like marble. I think marble looks like trash. Marble looks trashy. I like
Looks
quartz.
a bit messy sometimes, but more like a clear quartz or a dark quartz. Nice black quartz countertop. That'd be good.
Yeah, we did ours like charcoal color here. It's pretty good.
Mm.
It's pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the dark, smoky quartz. They're good. Scungy hadn't seen Wheel of Time, so I'm glad we didn't talk too much about that.
Oh yeah, I mean, I talked about the beginning of it because people like they freak out about spoiler alerts or whatever. That's all the first 10 minutes. I mean,
One
and
like having not
it's
read the books, the only thing that I noticed that annoyed me is that there
Mhm.
was fairly consistent continuity errors.
right.
Like the biggest one, the easiest one to notice was the horses in that the city
Yeah.
when that just before all that black stuff started happening, and all
Mhm.
of the horses had fled, and then the paladin dude and the magic chick came out, and 3 of the horses were still there or something, but they'd already just
Well,
fled.
I think the idea with that was like some of the horses ran off, but not all of them. Because but here's the thing, like I don't remember the horses being consumed in the books. And plus, like when they were in that city in the books, like it's very distinct that so the paladin guy's name is Lan, right? Him and Moiraine are just over there. Like she isn't like so dramatically injured by that point in the books, but the boys are just wandering around outside and they see a guy and they're like, "Who's this guy?" And they go talk to the guy. And then eventually the guy turns into like a spooky ghost thing and goes crazy and they run off, right? And they come back and they in the books they're like distracted is why Matt has the ruby hilted dagger, right? um it doesn't happen the way that it does in the show at all. He doesn't wake up in the middle of the night, wander off by himself, and then just go find it in a box and then be like, now I've got this item. Like it's stuff like that where you're like, why deviate so dramatically from the books to do an exact plot point from the book, right? Like
Yeah,
I understand like deviating in certain ways, like from the book, because it would be like maybe easier to make or um easier to produce or something like that, or the pacing is too slow, like you don't have time to just sit around and whatevers. Um
well, was it what how were the you know how the like that was his experience with whatever the thing was that was coming into their dreams and making a noise or something to wake them up.
that will happen forever in the books.
Right. So
Yeah. So it's like so think the Middle Earth, the hobbits, right? You know how Sauron is always fucking tripping out and making people weirded out, that's how one of the or that's how like the dark one in this fucks with people is through their dreams, basically.
right. Yeah. So
And
yeah,
it's because
I
in the
just
books there's a dream world called Telan Haran Royoid, or however it's said. There is a dream world where you can walk around in and do shit. And that's where the dark one can kind of like manipulate shit. Um, that's why they were saying that, like, if that's why she says in the show, dreams are real or dreams are dangerous or whatever, right? And I think that was one of the few things that they pointed out fairly well. Is because in the books she like brushes it off and then later on tells them how important that the dreams are.
yeah,
Like
you must tell me
she's
as
just
soon as it happens.
yeah. But it's every time that she mentions it in the books, it's like, oh hey, it's really important that you know this, but blah blah blah. But I'm not really going to interrogate you to find out like what really happened. Um,
So
and
she just has to let them know that the dreams are important and matter, so don't ignore them.
yeah, and she sort of like brushes it off until later on, and then she realizes like, what the fuck, these guys everyone's been having these fucked up dreams, like, oh, the dark one knows who you are then. Okay, cool, great. This is bad.
Serves her
Like,
purpose.
like yeah, because one of the things that like the dark one does is like it fucks with people while they sleep, so they become sleep deprived and like worn down and paranoid and shit. Like, but you know, it's super weird. Like so, like a lot. It's like I said, like they changed a bunch of shit, which doesn't make any real lick of sense, honestly, from my standpoint of going like, I know the books. Everyone knows the books. That's likely going to be watching the show, which is tens of millions of people. Like it's a very, very popular series. So it's like, I understand that you would want to I would understand that you would want to like kind of deviate a little bit so that it would be generally more kind of interesting or something to people that like maybe have read all the books and want something slightly different. But I really don't think that that's what people are tuning in for. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think people are tuning in for just this like like a different story. Like, I don't think people are tuning in for a different story. It's like if you made The Hobbit or the Lord of the Rings, and you were just like, yeah, let's just fucking make hey, Bilbo's kind of a dickhead. He's just a dick all the time. Like, he's just a dick constantly to everybody wherever he goes. And you're like,
and the Shire is a casino.
Yeah, the Shire's a casino, and you don't actually meet Gandalf in the Shire. You just meet Gandalf like way later on. Like, you just run into him randomly at a bar. Like, hey, fucking guy, what's up? You know. And they did like, I don't know, they made like some really strange decisions which don't really make sense to me because the books are so expletive of like what is going on. You know what I mean? So it's like, it shouldn't be that confusing. So it's like, this is almost like a flashback to the Game of Thrones, where they like just wildly fucked up Game of Thrones, where they were just like, yeah, well, I don't know. Turns out everybody was in a dream this whole time, or whatever, you know. Like,
I think for the most part, most of the people that watched Game of Thrones hadn't actually read the books, and they were quite satisfied with the series until they really messed up that last season.
Well, I think everybody was happy with the Game of Thrones until the end. Yeah, I mean, until the last 2 seasons, basically. But it's just a royal fuck up. I mean, even if people didn't read any of the material, you still completely screwed up the last season. You know, and to the point where, like, you know, here's the thing that like I don't understand is that, you know, you pre-screen this stuff, you know, like you don't just make it and then be like, oh, hey, here you go, Amazon, release it. And then you'll get to see it on the day that it comes out. Right. Like they screen it in front of audiences and shit. And then you have an opportunity to like fix whatever's fucked up. Right. Like, I just don't understand. It's not like a YouTube video was released by one person that made it, and then it just came out, and then you get feedback, right, from the audience who actually watched it, but it already exists while it's out there. It's like this is a giant production where you have millions and millions of dollars on the line, and that you view it, you do private showings to audiences so that you can find out what they think about it, right?
Yeah, but maybe they specified in their ad when they were asking for the audience must not have read the book.
Well, I guess I don't understand why you would do that. Like, if the source material is that well known, then just pick source material that isn't known. You know.
Yeah, unfortunately, those books don't get read. Hang on. That source material is not that good.
It's probably not that good. I mean, so.
G'day, Scotty. Alien World Aquatics, Scotty.
I don't know. It's just kind of weird. Like if you just randomly made Jon Snow suddenly have the power of flight, you know, like, well, he wasn't flying in any of the other seasons. We might as well just allow him to fly now because people like Iron Man, you know.
And he hung
Fuck,
out
maybe
with
he
that
built a
dragon
suit.
chick for a while.
Maybe he built a suit while it was in between seasons. He just built a flying suit. He's got nanotechnology. I mean, come on, you know, guys, come on. Yeah, he can fly. It's all good.
He hung out long enough with dragons to learn the skill.
Well, you know, it's like one of the important like key disasters with the Game of Thrones is that so every season leading up to like the last 2 seasons, you notice that everybody is busy traveling, right? Because it takes months and months to get anywhere in that fucking world because you're like on horseback with a bunch of soldiers moving slowly along fucking mud bog roads and stuff, you know, with a horse and buggy
Sailboats.
while everyone's like sort of starving to death. You know, but then all of a sudden in the last season they're just like, hey, I'm in the north. Hey, I'm in the south. What's up? I'm on a boat now. What's up, bros? You know, like,
I'm on a boat, yo.
I'm on a boat. I'm flying around on my dragon, but I can't see any of the ships down in the ocean down there. I can't see down. I'm flying on a dragon, bro. Can't see any of those boats down there. Oh shit, we got arrowed. Like a fucking what? Okay.
Aubrey asking if anyone's seen the new Dexter. I'm not sure where it's.
I haven't.
If it's streaming down here, is it any good, Aubrey? I was pretty big fan of Dexter until that last season. The last season went a bit wrong, which is probably why they gave themselves a couple of years of break before they jumped into anything else.
Yeah.
I don't know why they went the way they did, but you know, I've got good hopes for the new one that it.
I watched the first couple seasons of that, and then it just started jumping the shark for me. Like it just started getting to the point where it was like, what? Why? What is happening?
You mean?
And then all the weird acting started to get super weird because like Dexter and his sister were like boning off screen. And it started to become very apparent in their acting on screen that they were like passionately humping between scenes, and it started to get real weird chemistry on set.
Were they actually brother and sister in the show, or was one of them adopted? Or were they blood?
Well, I don't know if they were blood on the show, but they were brother and sister. I mean, as far as I think one of them might have been adopted, maybe, but they were brother and sister as far as anyone would consider it. You know, I mean, I don't know who goes out and gets a blood test to find out if they can like hook up with their siblings their whole entire life, and it's like, oh, it turns out you're adopted. It's totally cool now. That's But then again, he's a serial killer, so who the hell knows? I mean,
yeah,
maybe
who knows
he did.
what goes on inside his head.
But I think for me, like it really started to come out on screen, and it was just kind of like, this is weird. I don't know. It just I couldn't stay in it. You know, there's too much chaos and murdering going on for anybody to just not, figure it out. You know. It just seemed to me at that point where it was just like, really? I don't know.
There we go. Dexter streams on Paramount Plus down here. One of them I don't have. Paramount Plus has just opened down here. It's being
Paramount Plus
being advertised like a fury.
Oh, really? They're just spreading it around like crazy.
Yep. There was another one very recently as well that I think it was another one of the American ones that started.
It seems like everybody has a streaming service now.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, very
It's
much
just
so.
yeah, because it was like I wanted to watch an HBO show the other day, and they were like, "That's not on HBO. It's on HBO Max." And I'm like, "You fucking clowns! Seriously, have two different
Are they both
streaming?"
streaming services?
Yeah, yeah. And they're like, "Oh, you want the superhero stuff? That's on HBO Max." And it's like, "Well, what if I have HBO?" And they're like, "Well, go fuck yourself." And I'm like, "Cool. That sounds like fun. This sounds great."
What is it? An extra $10 a month to get the
Yeah, it's
Mac?
like extra. It was like an extra $10. I just was like, I canceled both, or I canceled my regular HBO instead of signing up for HBO Max. I was like, oh, fine. You want me to sign up for another one? Guess what? I'm canceling. Go fuck yourself.
Sometimes you just got to make a stand.
Yeah, I just like it's just stupid. Big time overreach. I'll just watch whatever is on HBO on YouTube when somebody in India rips it and puts it up on YouTube.
And just makes it move around a little bit on the screen every 30 seconds so copyright doesn't pick up on it.
Yeah, it's just like reframed a little bit and the audio's a little bit wacky. Like, all right, I got the gist.
Yes, Alyssa, Mozzies is Australian for mosquitoes.
Mozzies. Oh, they've been actually the mosquitoes haven't been that bad up here. The last couple years, really.
Yeah, mine have certainly slowed down now that I'm not trying to breed them for fish.
Yeah, I know some people that do that, and it really pisses off their neighbors.
Yeah, luckily I've only got one neighbor that's close.
You know, when sometimes we have a winter where it doesn't freeze here. Every like once every, I don't know, 8 years or something. Like it'll still freeze, but just not for very long. You know,
not for very frozen.
Yeah, and then that summer it'll be a disaster. It'll be a disaster of mosquitoes. But that hasn't happened in quite a while, so they stay fairly manageable around here. Oh shoot! I wanted to say where this house was, but that's much too small of a geographic area to mention. But it has good schools. Good schools for the babies.
For the babies.
For the babies. You gotta learn
the
EIO.
I saw your video the other day with your kid in a box. That was pretty funny.
I don't know what was going on. She was telling the story about the witches and cookies and all this stuff. It's like, I don't know. This is a hoot. This is a good time. She had her imagination was going strong.
What did she,
in
what
that
did
giant
she
box? Oh, I forgot to tell you. Like this last
no
weekend.
left.
I forgot to tell you, this last weekend was a fucking disaster of having to remodel my bathroom on the fly.
What happened?
Well, you know, sometimes your spouse goes, hey, I was thinking we should maybe get a new sink for the bathroom. And you're like, all right, let's go down and we'll look at some. We'll check them out. And we'll figure out which one we want to get. And she goes, well, I've already got one in the car. And you're like, oh, all right, that's cool. And then she goes,
that's fucking teamwork.
Yeah, exactly. And then she goes, well, no, we could swap it out pretty quick. You know, I know you could swap it out pretty quick. And I go, yeah, I can do that. So then you go take the old sink and the counter out. And then you realize that when it comes time to put in the new sink, that she's bought a sink that is a much smaller footprint than the previous situation. And now the flooring does not extend far enough to cover up to underneath the cabinet that has been acquired for said sink. And you realize, like, wow, that looks like trash, and we're going to sell this house in the next couple months. That's fucked. Okay. So then you go, well, that's fine. We'll figure it out. It's all good. And so you go to you go to take the old hoses off from where the sink was, and then it turns out that it starts to leak a little bit. So you go, all right, well, shit. So you got to turn off the water to the house, and then you take it off and you put the new valves on there. After having to go get the new valves, you come back and you put the new valves on there, and then you realize that the old galvanized pipe that was in there was never replaced by the last guy that put the sink in. So after trying to put the new valves on there, you realize that the actual pipe itself is cracked, and that's just leaking. So then you got to go to the store and you got to buy more galvanized pipe nipples because you don't have any in the shop for some reason, unbeknownst to you, because you go and you look in your container that has the pipe nipples in it, and you don't have any that are 3-inch by 1/2 inch, and you're like, fucking, what is this? Is this like a conspiracy theory? Because I'm trying to just have a Saturday right now, and it's a disaster of water all over the place and cracked pipes in the walls, and we only have one bathroom, so we're not going to have a sink in the bathroom, right? So then you go, well, all right, screw it, and you go get some nipples, and then you come back and you cut some holes in the drywall, and then you install the new galvanized nipples in there, and then you put the sink on and you connect the sink up and stuff, and then you realize that the flooring's all fucked up. So, well, I guess tomorrow you're going to be taking all of this crap out. You're going to have to rip the toilet out. You have to take the cabinet out. You're going to have to take the sink out. You have to take all the trim off the walls, and you have to cut up the flooring. Cut out the flooring. You got to put in new flooring. Then you have to go back and you got to put the sink and the cabinet back in, and then you got to cut trim for the whole entire bathroom, put the trim up, caulk that, reseat the toilet, put the caulking in around the toilet, and then do all the other shit. Then start painting, because you got to paint now because you have all this new crap in here that doesn't fit. None of it looks right and all that kind of shit. And by that point in time, it's about 8 o'clock at night, and then you finish that, and it's Sunday, and that's been your whole entire weekend.
Yeah, I got to do my whole bathroom too.
But you have basically a new bathroom now, so right?
Yeah.
And then you got to get up at 3:30 on Monday, because you're gonna go to work early on Monday because Thanksgiving's on Thursday, so you got to work off schedule, which means all the emails are piling up and the office work is still piling up, and you haven't sent out any of that office work shit that's got to go out, which is all kind of weird problems. But whatever, man. It's Tuesday. What's up, buddy? That was my weekend.
Yeah, I got to
that was my weekend. I flipped a bathroom unbeknownst.
I think I have a leak behind the wall in my shower.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
I siliconed it all up about 9 or 10 months ago because I thought I had a leak out onto the carpet in the room outside the bathroom.
Right.
And yeah, all of my silicone that I put in to stop water going through to the carpet is now black with the mold on the inside.
Yep, that's got to come out.
Yeah, so I think I've got water forming somewhere behind the wall, whether it be from a leak in the shed roof or a leaky pipe or something behind the shower fittings, taps and whatnot.
That sounds like a leaky pipe.
Yeah,
back there.
I have very, very limited access from behind the wall, from inside the shed, so it's very, very difficult to troubleshoot it without ripping all the tiles off.
Yeah.
Oh, I suppose I could just take the taps off and try and get one of those colonoscopes, endoscopes into it.
That's true. Yeah, if you got one of those.
Yeah.
Well,
just
last
gotta
time I had to get one
make
of those,
friends
it was
with a
like
surgeon.
last time I had to get one of those, it was only like $30 on Amazon.
All right.
I was
Yeah.
super surprised.
Could be an option then.
I was like, wow, this is going to be like $200 or something. And it was like, oh, $29.99. Like, all right. Stick that damn scope camera in there, see what's going on. Oh, it's that. Okay.
I like the sound of that. $30.
Yeah, it wasn't
Better
it
than getting a
wasn't too
plumber
bad.
out for 150 to tell you what you already suspect.
Yeah, that's true. Or or you could just bust into the wall because you probably need, you probably have to at this point.
Yeah, it's certainly getting to that point, I feel.
Mm. I feel you, bruh.
It's also really terrible when you fly swat a fly on your mobile telephone and it's obviously been eating really well. And it leaves quite a gross mess on your telephone.
Ugh. Because you know what they be eating, bruh.
All the things.
All the bad things.
Oh, Alyssa Bentley, right next to my heart right now. She says she appreciates toilets for their uses, though. So since Alyssa said toilets, I'm going to go to the toilet and make a drink. I have the bladder of a child today. It's ridiculous.
It's that thing, it's that thing with those extraordinarily helpful uses of toilets. They're wave of the future, you know what I mean? It's really one of those things. I forget who it was. Somebody, maybe it was Bill Nye the Science Guy. Somebody asked him, like, what was the most important, pivotal science invention? And he's just immediately knee-jerk reaction was like indoor plumbing by far, which makes sense. Trying to, what the hell? I don't know. These guys want to sell me Black Friday deals. What's up with the What's up with Black Friday? What's the deal? It's just nonsense. It's all online now. I know somebody was trying to congratulate one of the big companies because they decided that they weren't going to be open for Black Friday. But I think realistically it was a reaction of the company realizing that, oh, we can just do online sales and we don't have to pay for anybody to be in the store and we'd still make their money. They're trying to act like it's altruistic that they're not open that day. I think it's like Target or Walmart or some conglomerate giant company, and it's like, wow, look how generous they are to not be open at 3 a.m. on Black Friday. People getting trampled in the store, Mickham says, yep. Might order some more Apistos this week. I always like to have the tanks with Apistos during Christmas weekends. Silly but nice habit to have teenage years when getting my first Apistos. And it's pretty dark here this time of year. Sun up for only 5 to 6 hours or so. Yeah, it's getting to that. It's getting that time here where it's like I get done pretty early. Because I start really early in the morning, so I get done at like 4:15 or something like that, and it's like already dark out. like I'm at work, it's dark, and the whole time the sun is out, I'm at work, and then it's getting dark, and I drive home in the dark, and it's just dark.
Yeah, we're too close to the equator for that to have an effect, but it certainly is a very big effect much further south in the country.
Yeah.
I know Melbourne people in the peak of summer, their sun can stay up until, or be setting just before 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah. Yeah, ours does that here.
Yeah, I imagine you're probably a very similar distance from the equator as the south of Australia.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's about the same.
But yeah, certainly be an interesting concept to experience.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, the further north or south you go, it'd be even more interesting. An all-night daytime for a month or two, that'd be interesting.
Well, yeah, when we go up to Alaska during the summertime, it's like that, and then if you're up there in the winter, it's just night. It's just dark.
Non-stop night.
Yeah. It's a bit much. That's a bit much. But the daylight during the daytime or during the summertime is crazy because, like, we'll go out there and so you'll start work at 7 in the morning or something like that. Start working on stuff, and then you'll just be out there like working on stuff, and then be like, "Fuck," because
Feels like
you'll
we've been
stop.
here
You'll
all
stop.
day.
You stop to eat after when. Every once in a while, and like go have a snack or something. Like, oh yeah, all right, it's like 2:00. All right, and then it's like, oh yeah, it's like 5:00 or something, and then you're out there, and it's like, fuck, it's midnight. We've been out here. It's midnight. It's still light out. Like, like when do we go? When do we go away? Like when? It's like, just go to bed with the sun out. Like, oh, okay. It's like, all right, going to bed. So out here with the birds. Birds are all awake. They don't know what's going on.
Mm.
Reminds me of my youth, going to bed when the birds are coming out.
You and everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
There's evidence of indoor plumbing in ancient civilizations.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
indoor heating as well.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently the Chinese were really good at that a long, long time ago.
Long, long time ago. They were making noodles and
heating.
everything. They were making noodles and pizza and all sorts of stuff, bro. The ancient China. YouTuber Joanna Jinton made a video about a Nordic Dark, if anyone wants to watch. I'm not going to remember that, Meckham. I would like to remember that, but I'm probably not going to remember that.
That's why you need a handy-dandy notebook to take notes in.
I lost my pen. I had a notebook. I lost it, though. And I lost my pen. It's a mess. Okay. Alrighty. Hey, bud. We're coming up on my bedtime.
All right, let's just call it quits then.
Was there anything else that we wanted to talk about today?
Probably not.
I have no notes.
I can't think of anything.
No notes, buddy.
We might have to try and get some talking points organized each week. You know how the pros do it.
We have to what?
Have some talking points ready for when we slow down and go, oh, no, I'm going to stumble over 9 sentences because I can't think of anything else to talk about. Oh, hang on.
Well, we gotta get
talking points over here.
We gotta get you over 1,000 subscribers before we're gonna be doing that.
I lost 4 this week.
Where'd they go?
No.
Did they die?
If I knew where they went, they wouldn't be lost.
Have you checked your butthole? Beat up butthole.
Oh, that's where they can go. now that they're gone.
That guy, I love that guy. What's his name? Thomas Sutton or Swinton? What's his name?
I know not.
He's that Australian guy I've sent you that he does the wacky songs.
Ah, right.
Oh, is it? Hold on, I gotta figure out what's his name. Somebody sent me a friend request. Can we trust it?
If it's a hot girl, you've got to accept. Ugh.
Yeah. Do that for sure. Tom Cardy is his name.
Tom Cardy.
I'll
Yeah,
send. I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you on the messenger. Have you checked your butthole? It's brilliant. It's a brilliant
Righto.
song.
Yeah, if I had $1 for every Facebook friend request I had from some hot looking girl, I'd have about $73, I reckon. But yeah,
Yeah,
I'm learning.
it's always like, oh, is this a bot? Are you sure this is a bot? I'm pretty sure this is a bot.
Yeah, I don't even check anymore. I just click straight on the delete button.
I know somebody came over the other day, and well, not the other day, but a couple weeks ago, COVID style, and they're like, I was like, oh, a friend request, and I like looked at it, and I was like, look at all these friend requests I got. I'm so popular, and they were like, you have like 150 unanswered friend requests. I'm like, I don't know. It seems very tedious to even keep checking this. I don't know, like, yeah. Damn it, I'm not finding it. I'm not finding it, but you got to look up. Hold on, I could probably look it up on YouTube a lot easier than I could on Facebook.
I was just gonna say, just message me the link to his channel again.
I'm gonna.
I'll have him. I'm certain that I've subscribed to his channel after the couple that you've sent me.
Have you checked your butthole? Oh, here we go. Oh, I could probably share it in the. I could share it in the chat.
Yeah, go on.
Right.
Can't deny everyone else viewing it as well.
How do I not even know how to use YouTube? It's like part of my job.
You're getting old. You're just getting old. It's a symptom of the universe.
Oh, here's the chat. Here we go. I can share it into the chat. So you guys need to check out Tom Cardy. And you also need to subscribe to Dr. Black and hit the like button and share this out with people so that they can subscribe to the channel. Because I know somebody was hitting me up the other day. They're like, do you do live shows?
Podcasts? You should do a podcast, man.
I'm like, yeah, we do a podcast. What the fuck, man? We do a podcast once a week, every Tuesday, man. And we're doing on Friday. And I do one on Monday. What the hell is going on here? So somebody got to share something out. Somebody got to get onto Reddit or something and post it up. Post it up in Reddit or whatever.
Do you how do you change? How do you put what we do on YouTube out just as an audio podcast? Can we do that?
That's pretty easy. But now it's already up on YouTube. Now you can just download it and just rip the audio and then upload the audio as a podcast.
And do you need like a podcast provider or some shit?
You just it's actually pretty easy. You just make a podcast account. It's just like making a YouTube account on whatever. I think there's like Podbean and I don't know. There's a whole bunch of different podcast ones. Which one do I use? I think I use Podcast Addict. I think is the one I use. I think
because that'd probably be I mean, I know there's a bajillion podcasts out there, but it certainly wouldn't be a bad idea to have it out as an audio podcast as well.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, there's nothing super visual about what we do.
That's true.
We're just chewing the shit, chewing the fat,
right.
Talking the shit.
I still want to do like a movie review, where we could just record it and then cut it up, cut it up into a clip style review. And then we could post it up on a channel that's just like Blacky and Gerald review fucking Ghostbusters or whatever,
The two doctors review.
Dr. Rubensteino and Dr. Blacky.
Dr. Noir. I have to try and got to fancy it up a little bit for the pods.
Yeah, get big. You got to get big. But yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah.
What did you say the podcast one you used was? Pod something?
I think it's like Podcast Addicts, I think. I don't know. I mean, I think you could look up like a 5-minute tutorial and figure out where to upload it. But like, there's a whole bunch of places. What the fuck? I don't know. What is this? Yeah, I think Podcast Addict's the app I use for my podcasts. Yeah, but I don't upload them at all. But like, there was a guy that used to upload my my live streams as a podcast, but I think he got deployed overseas and he couldn't do it anymore.
That's what happens when you're military folk.
That's what happens when you need to get oil.
By hook or by crook.
Hook or by crook, buddy.
Emphasis on the crook.
So, but yeah, you should definitely, because like the audio already exists on YouTube because you've already streamed it on there, and you can just literally go up onto your own channel and just download the episode, and then just upload just the audio
to an MP3.
Mm-hmm. And then you can just upload it as like, and then just title it whatever the hell you want to put it up there as, and then yeah, it's all pretty simple. Like I said, you could watch like a 5-minute tutorial, I'm sure, and it'll be like, oh yeah, upload it here and there and the other where. And you'll be like, oh, that's easy. But yeah, the hard part is just downloading it, converting it to MP3, and then doing all the title and whatever, all that crap information.
Well, we might also discuss the movie idea off camera, and so we can work out there.
Well, the great thing with doing like reviews of things like Spider-Man or whatever is that it's sort of timely, you know, because like it just came out or whatever, right? So it's like it's a pretty easy like, oh, I watched a movie I was going to watch, and I took some notes about what I thought was stupid, like the horses disappearing and then reappearing. You know what I mean? And just being like, what's with these fucking horses, bro? You know, like they all got eaten, but then some of them ran away, but then I guess some of them just stayed. I don't know.
Some of them jumped back over the black stuff and came back.
They just came back, and they were tied up again, and they were just ready to go.
I don't even know where that comes from in my personality, but continuity issues always piss me off.
They piss me off too.
They just for some reason they stick out like a sore thumb to me.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a few that
like the real time suck to like doing a review is like you watch it the first time to just enjoy it, you know. And then you rewatch it and take all the notes about all the stuff, the stupid shit that was in there.
That annoyed. Yeah.
Like, why didn't you finish the special effects here? Why didn't you finish it? You just decided not to? Like, just halfway done? Okay. Well played.
Ran out of money at this particular microsecond. The hell's that?
Yep. All right, buddy. What'd you do?
I just found some black shit on the end of my thumb. All right, everyone. We're going to piss off. We're going to go now. now that we've bored you with talk of potential future projects. You know, that'll do. That'll do yous. A short one today. Only 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's the short one. It's the short version.
It will be 2 hours, 20 minutes by the time I finish rambling on about this finish and leaving. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out. Thanks, GRB, for slinging your links. Thanks, Corvus, for leaving just like that. You know, look after yourselves. Look after each other. Say hi to your mum for me. I think I'm stealing other people's catchphrases. You know, just bloody do good. Just bloody do good, everyone. And I'll see yous when I'm looking at yous, probably in about a week's time, I reckon. Maybe, if you're lucky or unlucky.